Peter, what do you think about the idea of building this border fence?
Part of my 10-star program, it's Star 10, internal and external security. I'm all in favor for a fence, but it has to be planned accordingly. Immediately response is a fence, containment, and eventually tear it down. I could see possibly in the future Mexico becoming possibly a state 10, 15, 20 years away. I've dealt some time with the PRI party in Mexico City, 6 months. I was a guest there back in the 70s. They're a beautiful culture. We should honor the Mexican citizen, but also be aware. There are citizens who are coming across who are criminal intent, a very small amount, and they're caught. So we got to have some sort of containment. So I actually request that our administration would issue 25,000, possibly up to 150,000 work to be carded, like Social Security cards, with a computer chip inside. So if the Border Patrol actually contained, they would see any sort of misconduct, or there might be a diabetic, heart attack, everything is in the computer chip, so they know who we're dealing with if they're caught. But according, 858,000 illegals are caught in Nogales every year. It costs us like $48 to $50 million. That's very, very expensive. So we should have some sort of system. And I think the carding of illegals, they would be legal now, because they would pay taxes. They would be put to work at minimum wage. Be fair.
Okay, so if I can summarize your position, build the fence, tear the fence down, annex Mexico.
No. What? It's a program, a long-term program. It has to be planned. Immediately, a fence. Eventually, the fence would come down in a time period up to 20 years. But immediately, a fence would be needed to separate, because we're different than the Mexican government. We must have boundaries. And there must be some sort of containment.
So this would be quite a jobs program.
A job program?
But building the fence and then eventually taking the fence back down.
Well, yeah, it would be a job program. Yes, it would.
Create a lot of jobs for Americans.
It would create jobs for America, but that's not the issue. The issue is to eliminate illegals
by making them legal. All right,
they would become legal.
What do you think about the whole idea of eliminating the nation state, as Dr. Snootopia has suggested?
I think we're kind of ultimately going to be heading for a world government anyway, so I think that it probably should be done in a more calculated, controlled method than just through conquest and war, which seems is the direction that we're heading now. So I would say maybe a long-term heading in that direction.
All right, and Utopia, Charles Skelly has suggested that the illegal immigrants currently in the country should not be allowed to earn income, and in hopes that they would self-deport. What do you think should happen with the illegal immigrants now in the United States?
I think that they should just be able to do what they want to do. I don't think that they should have to work building McMansions the way I see many of them doing. It's a wage slavery. So I think that they should have equal opportunities. It's a world citizenship and based on human rights.
And one of the things you'd like to see happen is robots actually replace a lot of that labor.
Absolutely, yes. I think that we can have robots work to build these new structures.
Will that put a lot of illegal immigrants out of work?
Well, we're going into a resource-based economy based on leisure, which means learning. So people will have time to learn who they are, develop skills, and open their genius, so they can contribute to all of humanity, not just the capitalist minority.
All right, I believe our next question comes to us from a journalism student here in Tucson, Arizona, who has asked a question that I hope we can all get through without crying, frankly.
My name is Laura Hassett, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona. My question is very personal. How do you do it? Your hair always looks so perfect. How do you keep so upbeat and so wonderful?
Peter, I think that was probably directed towards you. How do you do it?
I am actually dumbfounded And I really don't know how to answer this. As far as hair goes, I'm blessed with this halo above my head, and I'm going to have to shine my head every morning and continue on. But I'll pass this on to the next Chuck.
Chuck, how do you do it? How do you stay so wonderful?
Thank you, Simon. Well, it takes an awful lot of time. It really does. I mean, between that and running for president, that's just about all the time that I have in the day. But
and Dr. Stutopia.
This is a feminist question because women are the ones that they say, well, look at their hair or look how they're dressed or this kind of thing. It's this beauty myth that women have to live up to. And they are supposed to be upbeat. They're not supposed to be critical. They're not supposed to be critical thinkers. So I think it's really a question of women taking their natural sovereignty and looking at what we think, because we need to build a woman-based culture that is in partnership with men. But we've lived in the man-made world too long.
Charles Skelly, how do you do it?
Well, this is a situation that's come up for me in the last 3 or 4 months. I found a cat that really likes me, and it's decided every morning that it has to lick my face until I get out of bed and feed it, and that definitely helps when I get ready to comb my hair.
Delightful. That's very nice to hear about your cat. Our next question is actually coming to us from one of our fellow candidates who could not be here tonight. Republican Sean C.F. Murphy has a question for the 4 of you.
Hello, citizens. Sean C.F. Murphy, Republican candidate for president here. Hello, fellow candidates. I regret not being able to be with you tonight, but time is running short. I have one question to ask. What can I say or do to get your vote?
All right, Peter, I know although you're running as a Democrat, you did tell me the other day that you were a registered Republican. Would it be possible for you to vote for Sean C.F. Murphy?
I'll dance again with that person, but keep my distance because this is a question that I need a lot of thought in answering. You're asking me what it would take for him, for me to get his vote.
For you to vote for him.
I would say to him, he should be a reflection of me and developing my 10-star program and introducing the Uncle Sam sweepstakes to generate $2 trillion over 20 years, frozen funds, and the interest just on the Uncle Sam sweepstake is close to $1 trillion. And the $1 trillion would fund regional healthcare centers, 6. Each regional healthcare center would have a quick deployment team to respond, such as the fire department, to these fires. And my program is spotless, and a lot of people have seen it. And I wish that I could, by the sake of God, be the administration of this program, and I wish he could, the reflection of me, be in empowerment as President of the United States. Eventually, I'll get there.
In order to get your vote, he'd pretty much have to adopt your platform.
Exactly.
All right. Charles, anything that Sean Murphy could say or do to get your vote?
Well, I think so, yes. I've seen several of his campaign videos, and I think what we need to do is make it so we can vote twice apiece. Under those circumstances, I would vote for him if he would vote for me.
All right. Chuck, what could Sean C.F. Murphy say or do to get your vote?
Well, sadly, I'm not in his party and I'm not registered in his party, so if he can make it through the primary, then I would have a chance to vote for him. I think there are lots of reasons to vote against people. I think the reason to vote for someone is that they'll represent you in government. And so if he were to represent the needs of the American people in government, I'd be willing to vote for him.